What's up, you guys? Scott here. So I get asked this question a lot. I think it's an interesting question. Do I believe that the hypnosis and hypnotherapy industry is oversaturated? And my answer is actually yes. The state of the industry, the way it is now, and it's only going to get worse. It's going to get more oversaturated as time goes along. However, this comes with a caveat. Why I do believe that it is oversaturated, I believe it's because there are too many hypnotherapists and coaches starting hypnotherapy and coaching businesses. So what do I mean by this? Well, in this video, guys, I'm going to explore this idea further. I'm going to explain exactly what I mean, but I'm also going to introduce you to a brand new model that you can adopt for your business that'll take you so far away from your business being oversaturated, where you can become the only expert in a specific niche, run your business, scale your business, grow your business, and make a ton of money, but also make a massive impact in your client's life. But however, like I said, it won't be as a hypnotherapist. It will not be as a coach, an NLP, a healer, an RTT, or any of those things. So guys, let's dive into this interesting idea. Let me show you this model. Let's go. So bear with me. I'm going to explain exactly what I mean by the market being oversaturated, and also dive into the idea of what do I mean by identifying yourself as a coach and a therapist. Well, here's what it comes down to, guys. We know that most hypnotherapists, most coaches, most NLPers are going to follow what is the traditional model. And this traditional model has been around for a long, long time, and it was probably formed by other hypnotherapists and coaches. And the traditional model would basically state things like not niching, having multiple niches, a certain price, a certain type of marketing skill, a certain type of sell packages and sell discounts. And this is pretty much the stock standard model that even like academies and training schools would teach as well. However, there's a fundamental flaw with this model, and it's extremely hard to scale this model based on what is known traditionally. But you also have to realize, when this traditional model was put together, and it's probably something you're following to this day, there wasn't as much competition as there is now. There is so much competition right now that everybody, let's say there's 100,000 new hypnotherapists and coaches being qualified every single year. This means that there's 100,000 qualified therapists and coaches that are all going to follow this very traditional model. It's basically like creating the same thing in the same market for the same niches and the same price. And this is probably a big reason why, if you're finding that clients are saying to you, I can go somewhere cheaper, I'm going to look around, I need to think about it. Because there's so much competition, our clients know this and they know they can shop around. Why is this the case? Well, there's two business models I'm going to introduce you to. I'm going to show you the traditional model, which is over on the left-hand side here. And then I'm going to show you this new model. And just for the sake of this video, bear with me and I just open your mind up to what is possible. Now, as I said right at the start, being a hypnotherapist, being a coach, being an NLP is the reason why your business fails, is the reason why you may be struggling to make money. Why? Well, the big thing is who you're identifying yourself as. If you're identifying yourself as a hypnotherapist, as a coach, as an NLP, as a healer, in RTT, whatever type of hypnosis or coaching that you're doing, you are now in a red ocean with that 100,000 other therapists and coaches who are all identifying themselves as the same thing. Like, imagine this. Imagine you live in a suburb where there is a McDonald's, one after the other, after the other, after the other, after the other, after the other. Let's say there's 12 McDonald's in a row. Well, what would make your choice as to which McDonald's to go to? Well, you'd probably say, well, Scott, I'd go to the cheaper one or the best location. And that's exactly what happens to us as a hypnotherapist or a coach. When you identify yourself as such, you are now in a red ocean. Now, I'm not saying don't get qualified. Absolutely not. There's massive amounts of room for hypnotherapists and coaches, but not in the traditional model. So I'll explain what I mean by the traditional hypnosis and business model, just so you get an idea. It's probably what you're running in your business right now. So the traditional model, identifying yourself as a hypnotherapist. I'm a hypnotherapist. You might have the traditional model of what I call the multiple menu niche. And this is really a red ocean. So you'll see this, you'll see hypnotherapists and coaches saying, I'm a hypnotherapist. I can use hypnotherapy to treat anxiety, stop smoking, weight loss, mindset, depression, fear, spider phobias, so on and so forth. And it's like a menu list of all of the things that can help. And I know they can help this. But again, going against the traditional model. So if you've got a menu list of niches, now you're basically putting yourself in a red ocean and you haven't expertized your skill into one certain place. I'm going to show you why this is so important to have just one niche, and this is what your client's going to be looking for, but I progress. Number two, based on the traditional model, they will tell us that you need to price per hour, and per session. And if a client buys more, you should give them a discount. This is what the traditional model tells us. Number 3, the traditional model says that we should also sell, if not sessions, we should sell packages, products, audios, programs, online programs, more stuff, more things, workbooks, audios, things like this. And essentially what they're saying is that you want to give your clients as much as possible, as much value, and by value, they mean things, in order to get a client. Next is, and this is a big one, marketing yourself as a hypnotherapist or a coach or in hypnosis or something like this. Now, I've talked about this so many times in other videos. I'll leave some links below, guys, but I'll just give you an overview here. Here's the one thing you have to realize about your clients. Clients are not looking for a hypnotherapist. Clients are not looking for a coach. I'll give you a metaphor for this. When you take your car for a service, do you care what type of tools that mechanic uses? Do you care the brand they use? Do you care what type of spanner or socket set? Do you care what type of diagnostic machine they use? No. When you take your car in for a service, it's usually for an outcome, to make the car run better and be safer. So as hypnotherapists and coaches, for this metaphor, what if the hypnosis and the hypnotherapy, the coaching, the NLP, the strategies and techniques that you're using, these are just the tools that you use to get your client to the end result? Just like a mechanic, when he talks about a service, if he gives you a list of the things they're going to service your car for, he doesn't give you the tools. He doesn't talk about how he's going to do it. He doesn't talk about the brand. Why? Because you as the car owner simply don't care. You don't take your car to a certain mechanic because they use a certain type of socket set. You take your car to the mechanic to get the end result, which is the service. And the same thing can be applied to the hypnotherapy and coaching industry. If you're marketing the how, you're missing the point as to why a client hires you in the first place. A client hires you to take you from where they are now, which is full of pain and fear, to a result, an end result that's full of happiness, joy, more money, more wealth, whatever it is. But how you do it is irrelevant. A client is never going to choose you over another hypnotherapist or a coach because you use timeline therapy, because you use conversational hypnosis, because you use a certain type of coaching. No, they're never going to hire you for this. Why? Because they don't know about this thing. Just like when you take your car in for a service, you're not informed of the latest tools or the latest diagnostic set unless you're a mechanic yourself. But the general public isn't informed this way because this is not their field. They're not educated this way. So here we are trying to market our service, talking about the tools that we use, and we wonder why our clients don't buy our service. Always remember this: your clients buy a result, never the how. But the old traditional model would fix us in this place where we're constrained by this right here, to have multiple niches, to have a price per hour, per session, buy one, get one free, buy more, get a discount type thing. Also selling packages, more stuff and more things, marketing hypnotherapy and hypnosis. So who cares, Scott? Like, why would this bother me? Why should I be listening to this? Well, here's the thing. Inside this traditional model as well, you are now under the guise of what the price is. And the traditional model would tell us $100 per hour, up to maybe $250 per hour, maybe $500 per hour. And let's say hour is a session. But if a client buys 3 sessions, you should, if it's $500 a session, which is an okay price, you'd give one for $500. The next one you'd charge $350. The one after that you charge $100. So you're just making a couple of extra $100, but having to do more work. Because now we are constrained. We have a constraint based on what the traditional model says we should be charging. And this value right here is not valued on the outcome. It is valued based on what the traditionalists would say that hypnotherapy is worth. Now, what's funny is hypnotherapists and coaches come up with this worth themselves. Now, what's quite interesting is why most people's businesses, unfortunately, therapists and coaches, are failing. This is why they're failing. It's not due to their skill level. It's not due to them being incredible therapists and putting effort into their business. It's just simple maths. If you wanted to earn $10,000 per month as a hypnotherapist and you were charging $100 per hour, you would need to see 100 clients per month, 25 clients per week. That's a hell of a lot of work just to make $10,000 per month. But now where are you going to find 100 leads per month? And that's knowing that you're closing 100%. Let's say in a traditional idea, you would be closing 50%. Now you'd have to get 200 leads per month. Where on earth are you going to find 200 leads per month? In some niches, there might only be 300 or 400 people. And based on pricing your service, based on the worth of the tools that you use, you're going to burn out, run out of clients, wear yourself thin, and you're never going to be able to scale this business. I mean, I don't know about you, but after a month of seeing 100 clients, the last thing I'd want to do is go see another 100 clients the month after just to make another $10,000. And this is what happens when you identify yourself as a hypnotherapist. It's like the mechanic identifying the worth of the outcome of the service based on the tools they use. Let's say they use a $10 socket set. That's the value of the tool. So that's the only thing they can sell it at. So what should we be doing instead? Well, you first have to identify if you're running into these issues in your business. Far too much competition. Can't scale because in order to scale, you need to see more clients, but you're running out of time for very little price. You're pricing per hour and per session, and you're finding that your clients may be only buying 1 or 2 sessions, which means that you're not getting much at all. Selling too much stuff, too much things, too many packages, which means that you're having to spend longer time with your clients and work with them over longer periods of time, which means you're actually going to be cutting your hourly rate, so to speak, because we have to distribute that cost over longer periods of time. Again, I'll leave some videos below, but hopefully you see my point. But also marketing yourself as a hypnotherapist, a hypnosis, trying to explain NLP, trying to explain how the mind works, or trying to explain how coaching works. It's basically communicating like the mechanic would communicate to you the tools he's going to use, something you don't care about. All you want is a result. So this is the old traditional model. And if you're wondering why your business can't grow and can't scale, it's because of this. Because you are identifying yourself as a hypnotherapist and coach. So what's the contrast to this? Well, bear with me. I'm going to say it again. Stop identifying yourself as a coach or a therapist. As soon as you say coaching or hypnotherapist, you are now in that red ocean of that other 100,000 coach and therapists all saying the same thing, identifying themselves in the same way. So as an example, we have students right now that can charge $1,500, $2,500, $5,500 for the same thing that a hypnotherapist or a coach would charge $100 for. Now you might be thinking, well, how the hell are they doing this? How is it that these people can charge so much money, get yeses when I'm struggling to, get $50 or $100 per client? Well, here's the first thing they do. And this is the first thing I teach them because I had to do this for myself as well. The way to get out of this red ocean, again, stop identifying yourself by the tools that you use. Instead, you want to identify yourself as a business owner, as a business owner who gets results, not hypnotherapy, not coaching. Why? Because remember, clients aren't buying hypnotherapy. They're not buying coaching. They're not educated the way that we are. They're not going to hire you because you use timeline therapy instead of coaching. They don't know the difference. We do, but they don't. The mechanic and the tool thing over again. So the first thing you want to do is stop identifying yourself as a hypnotherapist. Sure, you should be extremely proud. You are a hypnotherapist at your core. You are a coach. You are an NLP at your core. But the outside world looking in doesn't care about this stuff. Clients hire you, let's say they're a smoker. The result they want is to be a non-smoker. How you get them there is irrelevant. No client is ever sitting up at nighttime before they come and see you saying, wow, I hope Scott uses conversational hypnosis instead of timeline therapy. They're not educated this way. So it doesn't matter what tools I use. I just have to get them the result. So this new model would tell us that if we identify ourselves as a business owner or even entrepreneur, it doesn't matter what you call yourself. Don't get tied in the label of things. But the way you get your clients the end result is by using therapeutic tools, coaching tools, NLP strategies, healing tools, whatever it is. But these things is like you can keep to yourself. You don't have to talk to your clients about this stuff because even if you do try and explain it, they're not going to understand it anyway. So what this instantly does, it breaks us away from the value of the tool. And now we can dive straight into the value of the result. Just like that service, we go past the tools that the mechanic's going to use and we look at the end result. What would a serviced car be worth to you and your family? Safety, driving your kids around, feeling confident that the car can handle the wet weather, snow, so on and so forth. I'm not a mechanic. I don't know much about cars, but hopefully you see my metaphor there. The value for this is exponential. But if you're selling the tool, this is what the constraint is, because this is what other hypnotherapists and coaches have said you should charge. But as a business owner, the sky is the limit if you get the result, of course. So I've jumped forward a little bit there, but just to show you, when we stop identifying as this, we're not limited by this. We now have freedom to really show the value of our service. Let's take smoking, for example. What's the value over the lifetime of someone quitting smoking? Well, based on the traditional model, the tool I would use would be worth, let's say, $250. But that's the immediate result. What about the lifetime value? What's someone's health worth to somebody? What's someone's self-confidence worth to somebody? What's someone stopping medication worth to somebody? What's somebody, not having to deal with cancer or cigarette-related diseases? What's that worth to somebody over the long period of time? What's it worth for someone to live another 30 years and spend time with their kids? What is that worth? This is the way we have to price our service. End result. So if we identify ourselves as a business owner, we now have freedom to really show the value of our price. So let's go through these 4 ideas here. How do we get to this point? We can't just say it. You have to arrive with a business model with this in mind. So number 1, over here we have the multiple niches, which is red ocean. Too much competition, too many people doing the same thing. But the identified business owner has one niche, and they're the expert in one niche. I'll give you another metaphor. The generalist practitioner, the generalist doctor, that the average general public go in and talk to the doctor about having a sore knee or the flu or something like this, compared to a brain surgeon. Think of the price. Think of the value. Think of what that brain surgeon can charge, because they are an expert in one thing, and it is more life-threatening. So one niche expert. And now this puts you into a blue ocean, because while everybody's selling hypnotherapy and coaching as a hypnotherapist and a coach, marketing themselves as a hypnotherapist or a coach, you are now the expert in helping people overcome anxiety or quitting smoking. You are in a blue ocean with no competition, because everyone's doing the multiple niche thing over here. Number 2, we have price per hour, price per session, price to get more discounts. Well, the business owner doesn't do this. They have price per end result, just like the mechanic gives you price per end result for your car being serviced. One price, no discounts. Okay? One niche, one price, one result, end result, no discounts. This is what it is. If you want it, take it. If not, somebody else will take your spot. Number 3, selling packages, more stuff and things. And again, this comes down to the value thing. Do you think a mechanic's going to win you over if they say they're going to use 100 different socket sets compared to another mechanic who's going to use one? Again, you don't care about this stuff. So when it comes to selling results, you want to sell not only the immediate result, but you want to sell the future value, not how much stuff you're going to give your clients. And in fact, the more stuff you give your clients, the more homework they get, the more sessions, the more hours, long term, it means that there's a higher chance of your client not sticking with it, because clients get lazy, they get complacent, which means that if a client has to spend far too long with you, let's say I've got 2 hypnotherapists next to each other. One hypnotherapist says they can help you quit smoking in 90 days, and one says they can help you quit smoking in just 45 minutes. Who would you logically go for? Even if the 45-minute stop smoking therapist was triple the price. Why? Because clients are time poor. They want results quickly. So what we call this is MOS, minimum optimum service. Again, I'll leave some videos below to check that out. But what it basically means is you want to get your clients the quickest result possible with the least amount of time, the least amount of moving parts, the least amount of effort and energy that your client has to put into it for an extremely high price. Clients will always pay more for speed. That's just fact. Number 4, we've got the identifying hypnotherapist, marketing hypnotherapy, hypnosis, how the mind works, all the things clients don't understand. But the business owner over here that uses therapy and coaching as just the tool to get their client the end result, they're marketing results. They're showing how deep their knowledge goes based on the anxiety, talking about cigarettes, talking about fear, not about NLP, not about hypnosis. Why? Because think of it like this. I'm using a lot of metaphors here, but hopefully this makes sense. When would a client who knows nothing about hypnotherapy, is not educated about any of this stuff, when would they be sitting online, looking on Google, not knowing anything about this stuff, saying, how do I find a hypnotherapist? No, they're probably on Google saying, I have social anxiety. How do I stop it? So this is more of a chance of them looking up that as far as content. So that's where you need to come in, and you need to share your thoughts and ideas and educate your clients on and show how deep your knowledge goes on that specific subject, very niched subject, not the how. Mechanics selling you the tools they use. This is the how they're going to do it. You don't care about that stuff. You're just thinking in your head, why is he telling me about, Sid Chrome socket sets? I just want to know that my car's going to be safe to drive my kids to school in because it's about to snow. That's what you care about. So again, we don't have a constraint as a business owner, as an entrepreneur. Don't worry about what you call yourself, okay? As long as you're not calling yourself this, of course. But now we have freedom to raise our price and show the value, that the long-term result, the future value that we as hypnotherapists and coaches, or in this case, business owners, can give our clients. Like I said, you're never going to have a client choose you over somebody else because you've done masters in NLP. You've done life coaching instead of conversational hypnosis or RTT. They're never thinking in these terms. The only people that understand this stuff are other hypnotherapists and coaches. So my point with this video, guys, here, remember, I'm a hypnotherapist as well. And losing that identity was a little bit challenging because I loved it and I still love it to today. But I realized there was no room for growth in my business. As soon as I called myself a hypnotherapist, a coach, a therapist, so on and so forth, this was the model I had to run. And the traditionalists were telling me what I could charge, what my discounts were, how to sell packages. And I'm wondering why, in order just to make $1,000 a week, I've got to see 10 clients in a row. Plus, I've got to do all the marketing. I've got to do the strategy calls. I've got to give away discounts. Far too many moving parts. But seriously, guys, when I dropped the identity and didn't worry about what I called myself and just kept my own pride to myself, my own ego, knowing I was a great hypnotherapist, and I just called myself a business owner, I start talking to my clients about the results. I didn't really inform them whether I was a hypnotherapist coach. Sometimes I would ask me, I would tell them that was the end of the conversation. But I wasn't trying to sell my services based on how many tools I'm going to use, how long I've been in the industry for, how many books I've read, how many masters in clinical I have. I was talking to them about their results. And the only results I was talking about was one specific niche. It's impossible to be an expert at everything. If you're just subpar at everything, you've got to give a subpar price. That's just how it works. So if you have one niche, price per result, have one price, no discounts. I mean, I don't know a brain surgeon that would give you a discount. They wouldn't give you buy one, get one free session. Again, these are just metaphors to explain my ideas here, but hopefully they're making sense. We're always selling results, the future value. The mechanic, you take your car in for the result, not the tools they use. And now you're marketing the results. Start talking to your clients about the subject, the niche, the market, the pain, not how you're going to get them there. If you're talking about language patterns in NLP, knowing that this has a relation to quitting smoking, but you're trying to talk to your clients about the models of language inside NLP, but you're trying to attract general public smokers, they don't understand this stuff. The mechanic, again, with the tools. Just keep that in your mind. I've said it enough times now. But remember, not the how. We're not marketing the how. And now we can start to charge our service based on real results. So guys, drop your identity, start looking at yourself as a business owner, entrepreneur. You have so much more freedom to grow at this place, and you have no constraints based on what everybody else is charging. Okay. Now, again, this is why our students are able to charge so much, because I don't teach hypnotherapists how to grow their business. I don't teach NLPers how to grow their business. I don't teach RTTers, healers, whatever. I don't teach these people how to grow their business. I teach business owners who use these tools how to grow their business. I teach entrepreneurs who use these tools how to grow their business. And that's why they are able to scale their business so much. That's why they're able to reach the numbers that hypnotherapists and coaches looking in would say, well, how are they charging so much? They're a hypnotherapist just like me. No, they're not. They're a business owner who happens to use the same tools that you do. And they're either going to use with one client, they're either going to use hypnotherapy and coaching with this client, or they're just going to use NLP with this client. They're just going to use healing with this client. It doesn't matter what they use with the type of client as long as they get results. So guys, become a business owner, become an entrepreneur, and start to have a lot more freedom in the model that you run as a business owner. So guys, there you go. Hopefully that makes sense. Like always, if you have any questions, leave your comments below. Interesting subject, I agree. So guys, good luck with this. If you have any questions, again, reach out to me. I'll see you on the next video. Bye for now.